I just mentioned, you see, the Tibetan outside, as inside Tibet, we now are sort of immediate, real sort of responsibility is pay more attention about education. Education, modern education, as well as our own traditional education, which is directly related with our inner value. Then make more sort of money. That's also very important. While we tell you, oh, this life, not much meaning, must think about next life. But in practical reason, we have to think more about this life. So, without money, you can't be a healthy family, healthy community. So money is very important. But at the same time, more money, then, gambling, very bad. And then also the alcohol, and sometimes drugs. These are very bad. Self-destruction. So, making more money, and then that money must use for education, help, particularly in remote area inside Tibet, where facility of education, health, much worse. So, we must utilize our money that way, not just gambling and alcohol and also some sort of ornamental jewelry. It's quite shameful. Here empty, here also empty. That's some jewelry. What use? Really shameful. So I mentioned that. Then all those monasteries come. Then our education, Tibetan script, Tibetan language, very unique and highly developed. Today, I think the richest information about Buddha Dharma available only in Tibetan language. It is really our treasure. That I mentioned. Then monasteries, nunneries, and also those monasteries which lay practitioner. All, see, we should be 21st century Buddhist. That means we should have full knowledge about Buddha Dharma. With full knowledge, then develop faith. That's 21st century Buddhist. We simply claim oneself as a Buddhist, but do not know what is Buddhism. That's outdated. We must study, we must acquire full knowledge about what's Buddhism. So that I mentioned. Then, last point I mentioned, my recent decision. The 4th century old Dalai Lama institution as a head of both temporal and spiritual. Now that sooner or later must end. So now this moment, of course, the 14th Dalai Lama, sometimes I jokingly tell people, great 14th Dalai Lama. So in any way, I'm quite popular among Tibetans. And also, outside the world, also you see, there are a lot of people who really sort of loves me. So therefore, such as the popular Dalai Lama, voluntarily, happily, proudly, and the 4th century old Dalai Lama institution is of political power. So usually I tell him, you see, I think last few decades, I always telling people, religious institution, the political institution should be separate. I believe that. So while I'm telling other people, the religious institution, political institution should should be separate. Then I myself combine these two. So that's hypocrisy. I'm saying something, practice different way. That's a hypocritical sort of expression. So therefore, now I can tell people religious institution and the temporal institution must be separate. So I myself fully implement that. So my statement now become something very honest. Otherwise, you see, people say, oh, he tell like that, but he himself still keep these two, both responsibility. So it becomes hypocrisy. So now that's, you see, so these sort of change, not out of sort of hopeless or discourage myself. Never. So I mention these things. So that's all. Thank you.